So, hi everyone. My name is Jessica Edwards. I am the account executive for some of your schools. And so you probably have been emailing with me back and forth about various things. So happy that you all are here. Unfortunately, my counterpart, Casey, was feeling very sick this morning, so he's unable to make it. But he did want me to let you know that he said hi to all of the people at his schools, and that he's so sorry that he was unable to make it today. And he looks forward to reaching out to you and talking about the different programs that we're going to about today. And hi, Danny. So as you saw, Danny popped up here. Danny is one of our editors, and he's happy to help answer any questions. And there may be some questions that he answers live or in the Q&A, but he will be helping us monitor that too. So thank you so much, Danny, for coming. All right, I am going to get started here and share my screen. All right, I think we're good to go. We did test this before. So we are looking at the West Academic homepage. I am logged in. I am logged in under my account. And there may be some people in here I know that are not West Academic partners, and that's okay. So if you're not a West Academic Studies partner and you are interested in Sourcebooks, you can absolutely still subscribe to Sourcebooks. You do not have to be a West Academic Studies partner for that. But everything is housed on the West Academic site. So for any of our partners who are here, this site is going to be very familiar to you. You're going to say, you probably look at this multiple times a day. And so the first thing I'm going to chat about is ALI. So I'm going to briefly go over ALI. I won't spend too much time on it, only because we did an entire webinar in February that really focused on ALI. If you do have any questions or want to discuss ALI in more depth, please let me know. I'm happy to forward that webinar to you, or just jump on a call and we can chat about it. Either way, happy to get you that information. So our ALI collection, we do partner with the American Law Institute to provide you with different series from the ALI collection. There are a few ways for you to access those series. If you are a partner and you have subscribed to ALI, so it is a separate subscription, you will see this ALI widget here. So it's the easiest way to probably access it. But you can access it in two other ways. Again, if you are StudyAid's partner, you've seen all these things before, but I just want to make sure you understand and know like where to find these things. Under content type, you will have your ALI collection, or under series, you will see that we have 4 different series here. So we house the model codes, the principles of law, the restatements, and the tentative drafts. And you can access that content any of those ways. I'll also show you how to access the content through the global search bar as well. If you do have any students who are looking, on a subject level or just want to be typing that in. So I'm going to click right through the widget because it's a very pretty picture on my front screen. And here you're seeing the ALI collection. If you were in the webinar February or March, seems like so long ago, so I can't really pinpoint exactly when we had that. I think it was February. This was a fairly new collection that we had on our website, and that is a fairly new partner at that time. At that point, we didn't have everything up on the site, but as you're seeing here, we are now up to 119 results. So we were able to load all of that content onto the site. If you're just looking at the actual collection, which is probably not something that you're going to do, you can see here we have all the different parts of the series on this page. Now, if you have any of your students who are looking for something very specific, they can also filter. So if they want to look at, contracts, they're looking for that restatement. If they click on contracts, they're going to see the different restatements here. They can also filter by series. So if they want to look at series and they want to look at the restatements, they can click on restatements here, and then they can further even filter down by subject. So different ways to access materials, depending on what it is that you're looking for on the site. So as I click on any of these 4 different parts of the series here, I can see everything on my screen, or I can access a series here. So just 2 different ways to access it. As I'm looking through the different parts of ALI, I can click on any of these books. They are going to show on the screen just as any other study aid series would show. So again, a very easy transition for both you and your students. if they have been on the site and they use it on a daily basis, it's really easy for them to jump in and take a look at this new series, and to use this new series as they've been using other series. Um, so as I click on the book, so right now we're looking at one of the principles. We're seeing browse book here, and we're seeing the truncated table of contents. We can click on any of these arrows and take a look. So this is going to bring us directly to what we just clicked on. An easy way to read through this, so this is the HTML version. If this is not really appealing to you, I definitely think this is probably best used if, one, you know exactly where you want to be looking, or two, if you need to find something. So you can Control F and find anything that you want to be looking for. If there's a certain word or certain area of law or anything like that, you can Control F and find it directly from the HTML on the site. Another way to look at this is, of course, in our e-reader. So we use VitalSource. And anything that you are looking at on the West Academic Studies site, you can also pull up on the e-reader. So here's my e-reader version. I use this exact same book, apparently, for when I did this last webinar. If you're not familiar with VitalSource, you're not familiar with our e-reader, you can use this for different things. If you are logged in, so one of the things I always make sure to let students know is that if you're not logged in, if you're using an IP auth or guest access, the things that you're doing in eReader are not going to save for you to come back to. So if a student is wanting to, really work through any of these series and make notes, and they're using this for class or anything like that, they are going to want to log in and actually use the e-reader. So with this e-reader, I'm able to do a number of different things. I can highlight, so I have my two colors here. I can add a note in. I think I put a really great substantive note in here before. I can look this up in Wikipedia. I can copy something. So if I want to add something to my notes, you can let students know they can copy directly into their notes or into their outlines. I can create a flashcard, and these flashcards are all saved, so I can come back and look at them later. Or I can use the text-to-speech. So I can highlight any amount of text, and it'll read it aloud to me. So a lot of really great features in our VitalSource platform. So any of the books that you are seeing on the Study Aids collection or in the ALI collection or Sourcebooks collection, you're able to see also on the e-reader. So just back to our HTML version, again, if you want to highlight or copy anything from here, you can do that as well. And then you can also search. You can search in the book here too. There's a way for you to just kind of search right here. And if you take a look at the book description, it's going to give you some information about the book. So you have the publication date, a description, and any of the reporters. So all that information is housed directly in book description. And again, we have a few different series. We have model codes, principles of law, restatements, and tentative drafts. And all of these books, I want to make sure that I'm making a very big distinction here, is all of these books that are on our site, you're able to view them as if you're viewing the actual book, like actual printed book. And I know that becomes really important to students as they're doing any sort of research. So if I'm looking at restatements and I'm looking at contracts, if I'm on other sites, these are probably not going to be split up into 3 different volumes, right? And so that students might struggle a bit with research if they have a specific research question. If they're trying to navigate and find the different volumes on different sites, it might all show as one volume. Also, another pretty big point and pretty big distinction is that there's nothing added to any of these books. So I know on some other sites that they might add some descriptions or add some notes or things like that that are not actually part of the book. So when you are looking at any of our restatements here, it's as if you were looking at it in print in your library. The last way to access this, or one of the other ways to access this, if your students are starting really at the beginning and just clicking in contracts, so I can use my global search bar. When I use that bar, if I scroll down, I'm able to also see, we have the restatements of law second here for contracts. So the restatements also populate while using the global search bar. Okay, so again, we have our different series here. If you have any questions about adding the ALI collection to your study aid subscription, or if you are a non-partner, if you're adding it, please let us know. Happy to send you over more of the information. Really great, a great way for your students to access this information in a platform that they already know and that they already use on a daily. And so now I'm going to switch over. Oh, let me pause for a second because I know I talked actually really quickly. Are there any questions that we can answer about ALI? Right. So, oh, Wendy, yes, we do not go backwards. We will be going forwards. And so this was as of, I think November, December. Any other questions? Okay, I feel like this for everyone is really, really here for any print or download. So you are able to download to our app. So we do have an app, and if you look at any of the restatements here, you can download directly to our app. So we do have a West Academic app. We have a Vital Source app. Students can download these different volumes and take them on the go with them. So even if they don't have access to Wi-Fi, they can take those on the go. As far as for a printer directly from Vital Source, I don't believe so, but I will follow up with you about that. Yes. So if a student is wanting to do those special features or standard features for Vital Source that I discussed. So if they want to highlight and create notes and create flashcards and all those things, they will have to create an account in Vital Source. And they can do that directly through the website. So if they're logging in for the first time through Vital Source and they click on any of these pages in the book, and they will it'll go open an e-reader and allow them to create their account right from there. It's a pretty seamless process. And once you create it, you don't ever have to really worry about it again. So I created mine a few years ago. And once I open it, it just automatically, rolls over. And those notes have been there since this last webinar. So they do save in Vital Source. So you're able to look at them later, which is really great if you had used that material in a previous class or maybe had been part of your research questions in your legal research class. All of that saves for you, which is really nice to have it in there for the next time you take a look at it. Okay. And next up, let's chat a little bit about the source books. And so I know that you probably have seen some information from us. Hopefully, you're getting our emails. You've already seen a lot of information from us. If you have seen this in your emails, we've been sending these emails out to everyone in the library, as well as or contacts that we have listed in the library, as well as our academic support and bar directors, and making sure that everyone has information, as we know that it has also been released by news release by the NCBE. So a lot of information is probably out there already, but want to chat a little bit about the source books, what we're seeing is coming, and different things that you are going to see as you're looking through the source books. So the NCBE source book subscription is a separate subscription from your study aid subscription. If you are not a study aids partner, also again, perfectly okay. You don't have to be a study aids partner to subscribe to the NCBE source books. Now, just want to make sure this also clear. When you subscribe to the NCBE source books, that doesn't give you access to the study aids. I know I've had that question come up a few times. The NCBE source books are a series of books that are created that are going to review the actual law and concepts that are going to be tested on the next gen exam. And there are 9 source books in total, and they are going to be on each of the doctrinal areas that are going to be tested on the exam. How are you going to use these? I think they can be used in a few different ways. One, I think they could be great resources for anybody who's teaching any of these doctrinal areas of law if you're wanting to see what is going to be tested on this new exam. So doctrinal faculty, I think, could really benefit from these and taking a look at, what things are starred, what things are not starred, what things are students going to memorize, what has changed. And there are, as we know, a number of changes from the legacy UBE to the next gen exam. Um, I think they're great resources for anybody who is doing bar support and academic support as you're heading into, your third year classes and you're taking a look at, what am I need to focus on? What do I plan on teaching? This can give you some guidance for those. It's a really great resource for students, right? So this is made to kind of resolve any sort of conflict as to what is going to actually be tested on the exam. So this is the law. This is created in conjunction with the scope, and could be a really great study guide for any students who are really looking for another resource or looking for a study guide as they are starting their approach or preparation for the bar exam. I think this can be used even now. So I've had some schools that are asking what the use is now, even if their jurisdiction's not adopting until 2028. The students who are in your school now will be taking this exam if your jurisdiction has adopted in 2028. Also, even if a majority of your students are going to be sitting in, legacy uniform bar exam jurisdictions or other bar exam jurisdictions who are adopting next gen, you may have students in it, and maybe it's only a few this year, but it will probably be bigger as we go along, who are going to be sitting outside of your main jurisdiction. And so those students might be taking next gen in another jurisdiction. But ultimately, your students as who are 1Ls will be taking this exam if you're in an adopted jurisdiction. So I think it's useful for a number of different faculty, administrators, students in your school. And I think it's helpful now, whether you are a 2026 jurisdiction adopter or a 2028 jurisdiction adopter, or if you're not an adopter, but you do have a number of students who definitely take their bar exam in another state. So a few different uses. Currently, we have 3 source books on the site. And so I'm going to walk through how you get to those. So you click on series, and again, like if you're not a study aids partner, you can still have access to the source books. You might not have access. You might not see all of these. I don't know what that looks like on this actual site without access to the other study aids. But you're going to come and click on Next Gen Source Books. And again, this is going to look very familiar, right? And we did that on purpose. Any of our subscriptions that we add to our study aids, we want to make this as seamless as possible and as easy as possible for those schools that use our study aids platform to easily be able to jump into this new subscription or jump into a new series. So right now we have 3 source books on our website. As you can see here, we have contracts, we have evidence, and we have real property. There will be 9 in total. And I think that I have them somewhere, but I think that Civ Pro is next, and maybe evident, maybe ConLaw. I think Civ Pro and ConLaw are next, and those should be available fairly soon. So those are going to be next to be published. And Danny might want to correct me if I am speaking out of turn here.
Yep, Jessica, I can hop in.
Okay,
Torts and Civ Pro will be
Forts and
next,
Civ Pro.
followed
Okay.
by Crimlon Pro, then Conlaw, and BizOrgs will be last. I think for family law, since that's not being tested on this next administration of the next gen bar exam, we will delay that, I think, maybe 6 more months or something. But family law will be the very last one.
Awesome. I knew it was Civ Pro, and I was trying to figure out if it
Total.
was
Yeah.
ConLaw or Towards Next.
Torts.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jenny. I appreciate you.
Sure.
And so those should be out fairly soon. And then, we're hoping to have, at least the bulk of the content up by January 1. And as Danny said, there will be BizOrgs will be coming, I think, in the spring, and then Family Law to follow as the last one. So 9 source books in total. And again, how you access these is very similar to how you access anything else on the West Academic site. You can click on the series, you can click on content type, or you can even search. So when I searched contracts earlier, it might have been there. I might have to dig a little bit. If I do, we can always just kind of jump back. I'm sure it's in here somewhere in one of the 847 results. Easiest way, obviously, is just to click on this. And so when I click on contracts here, I'm just going to show you what this looks like. I will put it up for a little bit, so if you want to read through it a little, you can do that. but you're seeing the contract source book. Again, very familiar. So you're seeing browse book and the truncated table of contents. If I click here, you will see that this further focuses in, and you will see these stars. Anything that you're seeing stars for, if you don't know what the stars mean, it is all stated at the beginning of the book. So any of your students who are confused about what the stars mean or what they don't mean, we do have all that information right at the beginning of the book on the first page. So we can see here that we have our contracts book open, we have our table of contents, we see some stars, we see other areas that don't have stars. So we can browse the book this way. We could search the book again like we would if we were looking at any other series. But let me click on here. And you're able to see this again in the HTML version. So we have identification of governing law. We have that as a starred concept here, and you're able to see the different law and the sources. So you can look through this in the HTML version. You can also look through this as an e-reader. So different ways for your students to have access to this, or admin and faculty to be able to work through this. I tend to like to read it in the e-reader. It's a little easier on the eyes for me. And the stars are blue, right, on the e-reader. And so here's all the information as we're seeing and going through contracts. We have some scope notes that are listed here. But I can definitely leave this up for a moment if you want to just read through this, so you're having an understanding of what you might see here. And while you guys are kind of piecing through this, if you have any questions, Danny and I are happy to answer them. Hey, Sarah, I'm not sure that I understand your question fully. If you want to send me an email, I might be able to work through that with you. Adam, so this is the actual publication from the NCBE. And so this is going to be what the official sources of law are and the concepts. I'm not sure what the bar prep materials have in them, but there are any conflict or anything like that between the bar prep materials. This would be the controlling source.
And I can jump in there too. It's not necessarily a bar prep course like you get from us here at Barbary. It doesn't teach students how to take the test or give them any like example questions. It just is giving you the sources that are cited within the scope of doctrine that is tested on the next gen bar exam. So it's just the sources that faculty or ASPs and even students can use.
And Danny, do you have a better timetable than what I have for the source books being available?
The first, well, the first eight, not including family law, we're hoping probably BizOrgs will be last, and that probably will be beginning of April that will publish on study aids.
And I think you had already said that family will probably be later because it's not being tested on this first exam.
Correct, yeah. It might even be the next iteration, so 27, 28. Um,
And
next
there will be
gen.
updates. There will be updates to these. Um, so those will
Correct.
also be things that we publish. So any updates, I think the updates are an annual basis.
Yep, it's an annual publication, so a lot of the law won't change, so these will be um, very much unchanged from year to year. Torts doesn't change that much. So, but with con law, for example, SCOTUS could come down to something like they always do. So we'll make sure that gets updated. But these will have a date range each year, so faculty and ASPs know that it's the most up-to-date source.
Yes, Wendy. And they are being published not all at once. So as you saw, three are up now. Civ Pro and Torts are up next. I think that those are fairly soon. We try to give some sort of estimate, but as we know, not everything always goes as planned, especially with Thanksgiving and fall break next week. So I think that those we're looking to have those out pretty soon.
Hmm. Yeah, Torts and Civ Pro maybe end of January. Those are currently in production. Then Crimlon Pro would be March, Conlop end of March, and then BizOrg's April. Ballpark numbers.
Any other questions or anyone want me to kind of move through this a little bit more? I changed the screen maybe twice, but happy to leave this up here just so you're able to see this. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.